Hey everyone, my name's Tiffany. This is my first Flosstube channel, and it's gonna be a long haul because I've got a lot to show you. So first off, my name's Tiffany. I am a mom of 4. My kids are gonna be 14, 10, 6, and 1. So pretty nice spread. And they don't always get along, and they might interrupt this video, so I might have to pause and start again. So I have got a whole pile of finishes over here to show you. I'm going to start with that first, and then I have a pile of WIPs to show you next, and I'll do a little WIP parade, except it's not very little. I have 90 projects to show you, so it'll be a long one. So why don't we go ahead and jump right in. Here's the first one, and this is Art Nouveau. I started it back in 2017. I don't have any order that I'm doing these finishes because I don't have them sorted by year. So I'll just do my best to remember the years for you. Art Nouveau, I got it off of Etsy. It's on 18 count Aida. Let's see if I can get the full view. So this one was interesting. I started by page first, and I don't know if you can kind of see, but there's a page line here and here. And so that's like kind of my learning curve, that I knew to stop just stitching by page and kind of feather it out at least. But I started in 2017 and then I finished it in 2021. So it was fun. This was a project that taught me that I don't love stitching a lot of beige. That was like super boring. But otherwise the other colors are nice and vibrant, so that was fun. This Enchanted Geisha. This is a dimensions kit. Let's back it up here. This is a dimensions kit. I also started this in 2017 during Stitch Mania, and I also finished it in 2021. So this one was really fun because it, like the kits do, it's got dimensions. So you have like one stitch here, one thread, and then it goes into 2 and then 3, and then I think all the very top is like four threads. So it kind of gives it that dimensions. But this I think was the first time I dealt with the shiny thread. So that was fun. And then the little tassels, really fun too. So yeah. Next up is my, well, let's try that again. My phone fell, so I think it was on this one. So this is Dimensions Gold Magnificent Dragon, or Magnificent Wizard. I started this back in 2013. Let me back up a little. So for this one, this is my first time stitching on black fabric. That was interesting. It wasn't bad, except for like sometimes working on the dark blue on the black was hard if it was not super bright out. So I mainly only worked on this in the daytime, not at night, because it's just really hard to see. I did have an issue down here by this rock. I made a huge mistake, like so bad that I got so mad. Like I could not figure out what I did wrong, and so I ended up throwing it away, and my husband fished it out of the trash for me and was like, no, it's fine, you've got this, finish it. So I think I spent maybe 3-4 weeks in the timeout box, but then I pulled it back out and I figured out, and I kind of improv stitched the rest of it. So if you look at the pattern, it's probably not exactly the same, but I think it looks fine. It works for me. And I'm glad I stuck through with it because it looks so good. I love the back stitching on the wizard. So that was fun. So I finished him in 2016. Nope, 2015. Next up is Crowns of the Kingdom. And I started this one in 2013. And I loved this one so much. Let me back it up a little bit here. I loved this one so much. It was I think I finished it in 3 months because I just worked on it nonstop. It was so much fun. The only issue I had with this one was the Krennic kept on fraying and breaking on me. It wasn't Krennic. It was petite treasure braids, but they kept on fraying and breaking, and so I'd have to keep restarting a thread. But yeah, I think my favorite crown is this one down here. I don't know, it's so pretty. So this one I started in 2016, and I also finished it in 2016. Like I said, I think it took me about 3 months. I'd definitely do it again. It was fun. It is the Disney Dreams collection. Sleeping Beauty. So when I saw these, I saw this in, I think it was like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with them so much that I went online and I ordered all of them, and I bought all of the kits. So I was determined that I was going to finish this one first before I started the others, and then that didn't happen. I think I made it about halfway through, and then I started the others. But as I started working on these, I decided I didn't love the coverage, or like not the coverage, but the details on it. Like a lot of the times it's squinting trying to figure out what things are, and that just kind of got, yeah. Like there's a lot of animals in there that you don't really notice. So I decided to sell the kits, and I'm no longer going to do any more. But this is a nice little reminder piece of like where I've come as well, because a lot of these French knots, they're not well done. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it up close. But I'm learning to do them better now, so it'd be interesting to do a side-by-side comparison. It was started in 2015 and finished in 2019. So next up is my Twisted Band Sampler. Sorry, that name was not coming to me. The Twisted Band Sampler. This one is the Specialty Stitches version, and it's by Northern Expressions. I did this on 28 count Joblin, and I had so much fun with it. I think it was started, Twisted Band Sampler was started in 2015, and I finished it in 2017. Each little sampler, or band rather, has its own little specialty stitches, and they'd be really hard when you got started, but you'd kind of get used to it, and you'd start going down, and it would be second nature. You wouldn't even have to look at the pattern anymore. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, except I think I'm gonna have to redo it, because as I was pulling it out to inspect all my finishes, there's a stain. I didn't store it properly. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. And I've washed it 3 times now, and that little stain, it actually goes onto it. That's disappointing. I didn't store my projects safely whenever I first started, and this was back in 2015. Again, I've learned better now. I store all my projects. I thought I had a bag here, but I don't. I can kind of give an example. I store them in these kind of bags right here now, so hopefully that's gonna prevent some of the stainings that have been happening on my older projects. Kids, it's kind of hard to not have some stains here and there because they spill things near me, etc. But next up is, oh, that's upside down. So this one I started in 2017 and I finished it in 2018. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Lots of fun colors, big chunk block stitches. So like you could do the outline one way and then the outline back, and then you'd have a lot of stitches that you didn't even have to really count. You could just keep stitching. So that was fun. I do know there's plenty of mistakes in this one. I think one of these curls is wrong. But I went with it because what can you do? I don't like to rip stitches out if I can help it. If it's a bad mistake, then I will, but a lot of the times I just improv around it. But yeah, this one's on Ada, I think 20 or 16 count Ada. If I could go back in time, I have all of these started now, but if I could go back in time, I would have probably done it on 18 count because 16 is just a little bit too big for me. Would have been nice for it to be just a little bit smaller, but it's okay. So this one is Tuscan View Vineyard. So this was my first needle point that I ever did, and it'll be my last needle point I ever do because I didn't enjoy it. So part of the problem right here is that right there. I stitched in hand and it warped really bad, and nothing I have done will fix it. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. So anyway, I think I was on this one. Yeah, the warping is really bad. I've washed it and pulled, and it does look better than it did, but it's still pretty bad. If anybody has any suggestions on what I can do to unwarp it, that would be awesome. Because this was stitched for my mom, but I've not given it to her yet because I don't even know how to frame it for her with the warping. So any suggestions would be great. So next up is this little Snow White anime character. I just found it online. I'm not sure the artist, but I know there's a whole series. I've just done this one. It was fun. I like doing the back stitching. That was fun. Next up is Lizzie Kate. I think this is gonna make it flip because of iPhone, but I started this one for our wedding anniversary, our 10-year wedding anniversary, so that would have been 2019. And I finished it, I think that same month, but anyway, it was fun. All of these threads, this one and this one, I hand dyed them myself. The variegation was really fun, so whenever I thought, I had a whole bunch of spare, so I thought it would work pretty good. And I think it does, so it was fun. Next up is Bewitching Pixies. This is Raven. This is by Nora Corbett. This fabric I hand dyed. The little spots everywhere was completely an accident, but I thought it looked really cool. And whenever I saw this pattern, I thought it was perfect for the fabric. Or this fabric was perfect for it. And I believe most of the beads aren't the actual called for beads. Most of these, I have all of the Bewitching Pixies. I think for most of them, the ones that I've finished, I did what I had on hand from my leftover Mirabilias. So they work because they're small. But this one was started, I think they were, okay, this one was 2020. All of the ones I finished are 2020. And it's on, I believe it's on 18 count Ada. Could be 28 count, hold on. It might be 28 count, now that I think about it. Yeah. Okay, so next up is another Bewitching Pixie. This one is Minerva. This is dyed, or this is stitched on Under the Sea Fabrics. The tag has seen better days, but again, she's super pretty. I love this fabric. I had to figure out, I had just a little scrap of it left, and it fits perfect on it. So, next up, I've got Mother of Dragons, just a little quick stitch. It was fun. The back stitching on her hair was really fun. Look at that cute face. Stop for this. This was, I believe, stitched in 2020 as well. Yes, 2020. It was started and finished in the same month, but that was fun. This one, I don't even have a date for it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking like 2015. It was one of my first ones. It was also a kit, a Dimensions kit. But it was fun. It was a quick stitch. Alright. Next up, this one's fun. So this was, this is Disney in This House. And I'm going to just kind of hover here for a minute, and I'm going to see if you can find the mistake. So I went and I worked on this, and I did all the work, and then I found, I didn't even notice it. I missed the I in this. But when I showed it to all my friends, nobody noticed it either, so I didn't fix it. It'll just be a conversation piece. But this is stitched on Under the Sea fabrics as well. Winter Sunset. Next up, oh, In This House was stitched in 2019. Here's Alice. Alice was also 2019. I hand dyed this fabric. I did the shaving cream method, and then just kind of swirled the two different colors around, and I don't know, it was kind of cool. So thought it was whimsy to go with the little steam powered Alice. Next up is, this was a mystery stitch, a mystery map. So everything about this was randomized. You rolled different dice to determine what border you would do, to determine your name border. The river was completely decided on by dice. It was really cool. And everything in it, each quadrant was rolled for different items. It was really cool. You could do this thing over and over again and get a different map every time. So, fun stitch. That was done, I believe, in 2020. I don't have that one written down, so I'm not sure. Then there's Tinkerbell. So I think it was Creatively Crafting did a free sale a couple years, I think it was like 2019. And it was like all these Disney characters done in stained glass, and I had decided, I did it all in black, and then I was going to fill it in, and then I decided I didn't want to fill it in, didn't want to do all the stitching. So instead I went and I dyed over top of it the fabric to kind of match Tinkerbell. And I like it, I'm happy with it. I might go back and do the others one day, we'll see. This one was finished this year. This is Vintage Pumpkins by Witchy Stitcher. So that was a quick stitch, it was fun. It is stitched on Ada, just some, it almost looks like burlap. It's pretty cool. I thought it matched with the pumpkins. Here's the, I think the last Bewitching Pixie I've got finished, Miss Xenia. I also dyed this fabric. This is actually the Alice fabric. I had used the shaving cream and I made the swirls for the Alice fabric, and then what was left of it I used to stick over top for this one, so it's kind of more muted, kind of looks like cotton candy. So that was fun. Also in 2020. And then this one is, ignore the back, the Haunted Carousel. I just finished this one last month. It was a fun stitch. I did this on linen, not my favorite fabric, but it was what I had, so that's what I did it. But it's cute. This is also by the Witchy Stitcher, one of those. And then here's a Mirabilia. Oh, wrong side. This is Persephone. She was my very first Mirabilia. She was not my first finish because her beads and her dress was just never ending. Here, let me get a close up to it. Those beads on her dress were just a killer, and I made a bad choice to bead as I went. And normally on smaller projects it's not a big deal, but on this one it made it to where I couldn't put it in a Q-snap anymore. And I don't like to stitch in hand, but toward the end half of the project I had to stitch in hand for this one, and that's why I put it off. So I started this one in 2017, and I just finished it in 2022. So here's another Mirabilia. I started this one in 2021 and I finished it that year as well. So she was fun. I enjoyed the vibrant colors. Look at that. Let's see if I can get it to pop. All those colors. And these really big beads were interesting too. There's some on the nets as well. She was fun. Once I focused on her, it didn't take long to finish her. So this is also on Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm not sure which one. It was in one of the monthly club things because I was a part of it for a little while there. And then the last project I've got to show you finished is Gypsy Queen. Ignore the tape. I originally had it in its frame, but I didn't do a very good job, and the back of it fell out, so I've got to redo it. But then I started it in 2019 and finished it I think 3 months later. I stayed on this project. I enjoyed it so much, and the beads, I don't know if you can see, they're just gorgeous. I love it. I would stitch her over and over again. She was so much fun. See if you could see her beauty mark I gave her. But if you're looking for a fun stitch, this is one, because most of the stitching is in blocks, so you can get them done, each color done pretty quick. You can just work up. The beads are a little bit harder, but it was fun. She's so shiny. Oh, see if you can catch the shine. Okay. So I actually also have one more. See if I move my camera, if you can see it. It's up there on my wall. That's, oh my gosh, Moonflower. Name drew blank. I finished it. I don't even have this information because I didn't even think to write that down. But yeah, I finished it relatively quickly. I stitched it with a friend. So yeah, that was great. So I'm gonna pause here and then I'm gonna pick back up and do my WIP pile. So I'll see you in a minute. Hey everyone, I'm back. Here to do my WIP pile, my WIP parade now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show them by year, the year that I started them. So I've got 6 from 2017. Those are my oldest projects. I focused pretty heavy on them last year and a little bit this year, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. So the first one is Hope by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's stitched on 28 count even weave. So this is how far I am on it. I started with this first page and then I kind of worked the border line across, down, back, and up, and it didn't line up. I think I was like a stitch off, and so everything's kind of shifted one stitch. It's just a little bit of improv work, but it's not too bad. I'm not worried about it. I put in the darker main colors since, like this black, so that that's kind of like my anchoring point, because I feel like that's the most important. So look at her face. She's looking good. I've been working in tent stitch for most of everything. I did start her out in full stitches on this first page, and then I switched over to tent, and you can't tell, I can't tell at least, where it switched. Because tent just goes faster for me, so I like it, so I can get around to my projects more, because I have 90 and I mainly work in big full coverage pieces. So yeah, I love her. This is what she'll look like. She's about 54%. I really focused hard on her last year and a little bit this year. I don't know. My goal this year was to finish her. Obviously that's not going to happen. It's already October and I'm only halfway, a little over halfway. So it is what it is. There is about 72,000 stitches left on her. So I don't know, maybe she'll come out to play again next year or the rest of this year. I don't know yet. So next up is Pokemon Generation 1. It's done on 18 count Ada. This is how far I am on it. It's about 36%. I've got 73,000 stitches left on this one as well. So 72 on Hope, 73 on this. And this is what it'll look like. It's fun. I love working on it. The colors are so bright. I don't love stitching on Ada. I did a lot of Ada projects in 2017 because that's what I was comfortable with. I've switched now mostly to 28 count even weave or Lugana, but the 2017s, I think I've got 3 Ada ones. Yeah, it's not my favorite to stitch on. Also because they're full stitches, so I think they take a little longer for me than doing it in tent. But next up is Legend of Zelda stained glass, and this one is on 18 count Ada, 18 count Ada as well. It's got a big stain on it. I can't get it up, so what happened was I would put my needle minder on the center of my fabric with my paper pattern, and then I highlighted the paper pattern and it leaked right through. And I have washed it like 3 different times, tried different methods, baking soda, I've tried Dawn dish soap. I've tried so many ways to get this clean. I can't get it off, and I figured it's full coverage, it's gonna get covered. I'm not worried. And I guess it's like right there where her yellow hair is anyway, so it doesn't overly matter. But yeah, so this one is, again, started in 2017. It is got 83,000 stitches left, so it is about 28% done. I don't think I did last year. I did, oh, let me see if I can pull it up. Last year I mainly did this side right here, and I got it all the way down and over. But yeah, I'll probably try and work on getting this side down and over next year. But I don't have my plans figured out yet for 2025. But maybe you guys can help me with that. You can give me suggestions on what to stitch on, because I never know. I love them all equally, that I can never pick which one's my favorite. So it's really hard. So next up is Final Fantasy. This one also has a lot of stains on it. I didn't store my projects great. When I started out, I didn't put them in bags. I do now, but it reflects. So this one is Final Fantasy. Okay, so Pokemon was by Sprite Stitch. It was a freebie. And Zelda was also, I believe, on Sprite Stitch. And then Final Fantasy I got off of Etsy. But here's the whole thing. I did almost all the black. I just have a little bit left. Just here to there. And then these little panel liners right here. And then it's done, because it's already done in all the panels. It's just that frame that's left. And then the black is done. I think there's like 54,000 stitches of black. I have done, well, it's 117,000 stitches, and there's 83 left. 83,000. So it's still got a while to go. So my plan on it, the Moogle panel is done. And so is this little stained glass piece. And I'm working on this one. I think it is done all the way up to right here. From here to there. I'm just working on this last side. And then my plan is to work from here down and get all the way around. So these, and then down here and back up. And then work on the little flower petal panels. And then to the main one for the carbuncle. So, save the best for last. That little carbuncle is so cute. But, I mean, you can't beat that little Moogle, too. Alrighty, so this one is 42% done. Oh, I gave you the wrong count. It was 143,000 stitches. The 117 is Zelda. But this is also done on 18 count Ada. Next up is Lotus by, it's a Tilton Crafts. I also forgot to show the picture. I'll edit. But this is what she will look like. And then, this is where I'm at. So I worked on her a lot last year as well. She's at 35% now. I think she was only 5% last year. So she zoomed. I kind of changed my method. I did the first page right here. And then I did the second page. And then I decided all of this was kind of driving me crazy. So I took one of the darker colors and I ran the whole entire color down to the bottom. And then I started working color by color. It doesn't have as many colors left now. I think the list is pretty small, like 16 to 20. I could be wrong. I haven't worked on it in a while, so it's not fresh in my head. But it is fun. She's pretty. It's just, this background is really boring, so I can only take it in chunks. I usually jump around. But yeah, she's pretty. She is 35%. She's got 105,000 left. So she's on 28 count even weave. You'll see that's like my main fabric right there. It's either that or the 18 count Ada. I don't think I have very many, except for the donut stitches. Those are on either 14 or 16 count Ada. But anyway, the last one of my 2017s is Scientist, also a Tilton Crafts. I really haven't put too much work into this one for it being 2017. It was just this page for like the first 2 years. And then I didn't touch it for like 3. And then last year I was really trying to work on all 6 of my 2017s with a heavy focus on Hope and Lotus. So I did get this section done. And anyway, it is on 28 count even weave, and it's 20%. I don't want to say it's my least favorite, but if I had to pick out of all of my 2017s, this is the one that gets the least work, mainly because this background, there's so many stitches of it, and it's not an easy background, although it looks like it's just one color. It's actually 3 in like a checkerboard, but not a consistent checkerboard pattern, so it's a lot of counting, and the colors are so similar, it becomes a headache. So I will go and I'll tackle some background, and then I'll go and grab a more fun color, like the red in her hair. So this is what she'll look like. So that is it for my 2017s. Hopefully they get done soon and it's not like years down the road. So I'm gonna flip my page over here. My 2018s, we're going to start with, my order here is not correct. Anyway, Donna Aladdin. I'm pretty sure it's on 16 count. It could be 14. I'm having a hard time seeing. This was in 2018. It's about 39%. I love the colors. They're so bright. Yeah, so there is about 22,000 left to stitch. It is probably my closest Donna to finish. It is my oldest one. The other runner-up might be Brave, which I'll show you later. But yeah, pulling it out makes me want to work on it again. Look at those bright colors. Okay, so next up is Disney, Epic Disney. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to show you this whole entire thing in one frame. This is the Clouds Factory Epic Princesses. So the panels, there's 3 panels, like sections, and then the castle. And then you've got Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. So I changed up how the order went. I wanted the oldest ones here right under the castle, and then I'll alternate them on the outer panels for the newer ones. But I just felt like they belonged right under the castle. That just felt right to me. So I kind of had to alter it a little bit, but it's fine. But I haven't worked on this one in a while. I think the last thing I did was putting those, getting down to the bottom. But yeah, I don't think I can get the full panel. But this is what it'll look like when it's done. This one I think has, this one has 44,000 stitches left. It's about 28% done. I don't know if did I say Aladdin is 39% done? I might have said it. Last one for the 2018, so I only have 3 2018s. This one is Black Mage by Tilton Crafts. Let's see if I can get the right side. Here we go. So it's a little witch cat. So it is, I don't know what percentage it is because it's technically full coverage, but I'm not going to stitch the background on it just because it's a lot of white and the fabric's white. So I'm going to save myself some stitches by not doing the background. So I've already marked it off in my chart, so it looks like I've got a whole bunch of stitches done, and I really don't. So I don't know the percentage, but I know it's got a long ways to go. This is what it'll look like. So that was it for the 2018s. Sorry. The 2019s, I've got Sabrina, which is, oh, I don't have the actual picture, so this is what she looks like. Sabrina on Mirabilia, and it's on some sort of even weave. Yeah. But this is where I'm at on her. So much white. And I also beat it as I went. I'm not doing it from this point on so that I can fit everything in a frame. But yeah, she's pretty. I'm trying to think of, I don't know statistics on the paper pattern ones because I don't have them in Pattern Keeper to tell me, and I don't feel like counting everything on the paper to figure it out myself. I'd rather stitch. So this one is, yeah, 2018, not 18, 2019. Next up is going to be Merlin Chibi. I think this is a Pain-Free Crafts. I don't have it written down, but I believe so. It is 30% done. I got hanging threads, hold on. So Merlin Chibi. I don't love this fabric. It's one of those like loose even weaves that as you stitch it kind of moves as you're stitching, so it doesn't lay really nice. If I could go back in time I'd change it, but it's too late. I don't want to change and rip out or start this over, so it is what it is. But it is about 30% done. It's got about 39,000 to go. This is what it'll look like. Doop doop. Next up is Mini Trapeze. It's by Hade. I love her so much. I fell in love with her the moment I saw her. She's about 15%. Look at her little face. It's coming along. She's on 28 count, even weave. Yep. So I have two different kinds of even weave that I get. There's the even weave of a project that I actually like spur of the moment start usually because I go run to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and I buy fabric. And it's a softer fabric that honestly the stitches don't lay as great on it, but it's okay. It's better than the Merlin fabric, but this is what I usually stitch on if it's a spur of the moment project. If it's a planned project, I buy from AliExpress, and I buy the big sheet of it. Like it's huge, and it can usually hold like 6 to 8 big projects. So I usually get that when I'm pre-planning a group of starts. So Trapeze has about 56,000 stitches left to do. Next up is Cheshire Cat. Hade. She is about 18%. I know I just now realize I keep forgetting to say this is what it looks like, but here's what she will look like. It might be a rough edit for the ones that I forgot to do the point. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know exactly what it's going to take, but figure it out. She's fun. I'm doing all the black on it, as you can see. I did do a little bit of stitches when I first started, and then I decided I was going to do all the black. She's still got a little while to go. She's on Ada, and she's full stitches. She's got 58,000 to go. Next up is Treasures of the Sea, another Heaven and Earth Designs. So this one has a big story to tell. I started in the middle on this one, which I never usually do. I usually start in the corner. There's a couple I've started in the middle, but most are in the right corner. So I started this one here, and then I decided that I wanted to get up to that corner. So I stitched over and up, and then whenever I started coming back, I realized I made a huge mistake. Like it was, oh, I can't remember. It was either 9 or 11 stitches off. It was bad. I had to think about it for a long time to figure out how I was going to fix it or rip it out, but I had already put like, I want to say 10,000 stitches before I figured out the mistake. So what I ended up doing was I improv stitched, and I made sure that I put in my line all the way across, and then I put in these lines where they needed to go. And then I manipulated it. So if you look at the pattern, this is different and this is different because of the way it had to lay. But I think I pulled it off. I don't think if you look at it, you could tell that it's like 9 stitches off because I put those stitches in the background. I made sure that everything was anchored where it needs to be as best as I could. And then I just kind of put it in the background. So hopefully that worked. Once I get past, the same mistake is gonna make its way all the way, because I believe the mistake made me add stitches up to the top. So once I get done this row of pages right here, then the rest of it will be accurate again. And I won't have to improv stitch anymore. So this is what this will look like. It is a Heaven and Earth Designs. I have it on 28 count even weave. It has 123,000 to go. It's about 35%. Next up is December, another Heaven and Earth Designs. You'll see I have a lot of Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is what she will look like. She's not too far. She's about 9%. She's got a lot of whites, a lot of light blues, and she's gonna have, I'm replacing one of the whites because there's 2 different whites. I'm gonna replace one of them with all shiny threads because it's like snowflakes and I just felt like it would make it pop. So that'll be fun. She is 9%. She's got 141,000 to go, so it'll take a while. And I don't really work on her very often, so. All right, next up, I've got 4 pages of notes for these projects, so I just went through one of them. So now I'm pinning up the next one. So next up is, those were all my 2019 WIPs. Now I'm on 2020. So these are all, COVID happened, and when you're stressed, dealing with situations, it kind of takes away, I don't know, your inhibitions a little bit. I started so many things in 2020, so you're gonna see this, and a lot of them have been worked on, but I also did it in 2022, or not 22, 2021. Me and a friend did what we called a March Madness. We started a lot of projects, and a lot of those you'll see I don't have very many stitches in them. So this one is Knox. It has another name. I can't remember what the name is, but I've just called it this for so long because it's Lumos and Knox together that they're kind of companion pieces, but it's a little dragon. So this one is a kit I got offline from a Ukrainian company. It took forever to get here, but it was fun to track because I was watching it being shipped and it was jumping from country to country to country before it came here. So it was fun. But it is going to be so pretty. It's got lots of beads that's going to be on it, and I'm trying to be good and not bead as I go. This is what, oh, I was going to say this is what it looks like, but you know what? I have the paper. Let me see if I can pull it up. So that's what it'll look like. Oh, yeah, I guess. No, I still can't tell you the name of it because I can't read that. So, anyway, super pretty, super fun stitch. It is not in DMC, so I don't know the coding, so I don't know what colors they are, so I hope that all the stitches or the threads line up. Like, I don't run out of them before it's done, because that'll be a pain to figure out replacements. Next up is Juniper. That's my pet name for her, but it is Wicked Witchcraft by Autumn Lane. So these paper ones, again, I can't tell you what my stats are for them, so just eyeball them, I guess. But this is how far I am on it. So I replaced out the threads, so like on the pattern, the yellow and the purple, they call for, it's 3819, I think, and 501. But instead I found some shiny over-dyed threads at a crafty store in Florida. Don't remember the name of the store. So I did that with the yellow, and then I also did it with the purple. I can't see my camera and show. So right there. So just to give it a little pop. That one is done on even weave. You know what? I have a tag here. It's called Star Sapphire. It's on 32 count linen. I also bought it from that Stitchy store, so I'm not sure. It doesn't say if anybody specifically dyed it, but I don't know. I found fabric that I thought worked for it. Alright, so next up is going to be another Mirabilia. Her name is Red. I think this one is the one I bought through a stash unload group. I also bought Sabrina through that. So Red. And after I started her, I saw many different color conversions for her, and I kind of really wish that I would have done those, but it's okay. Maybe I'll redo her one day and do it on something else. I haven't looked at her in a while. This is going to be a surprise for me and you both. Okay. It's not too far on her, but it's a start. I did not bead as I went. Learning my lesson. This fabric I got from a crafting store in Virginia. It is, I'm trying to remember where. I don't remember what it's called. Cross Stitch Station, I believe. But I don't have the tag to tell me what it's called or anything. But it's a nice, I think that the lighting is getting it pretty accurate. It's like a gray, like a bluish gray. I like it. Mirabilias are really hard for me. They're fun in small spurts. the patterns, the paper's so big. I'm so used to Pattern Keeper now that it's really bulky trying to work on those papers, and the older the paper pattern is, the more wear and tear gets on the little creases, and then it makes the pattern harder to read. So that's kind of not ideal. Oops, I missed something here. But anyway, let's see if I can, yeah. So next up is going to be Alice, another donut stitch. She's about, I'm going to go ahead and give the stats while I'm putting the stuff away. She's about 13% done. She's got 37,000 to go. And here it is. So here's what it'll look like. I don't really know if I have any more comments to say about it, except I, again, really wish that I would have done it on a smaller count, because I just feel like the coverage isn't perfect. But at this point, and I knew it because of Beauty and the Beast, but I want them all to match each other because I want to hang them together when they're done. That I didn't want one to be bigger than the others or to have better coverage than the others. I kind of want them to have the same look together, so I've just accepted that that's what they're going to be. But if I could go back in time, I would have lowered the count, and I would have probably, well, I wouldn't have needed to put more threads if it was a smaller count. But if I would have kept this count, I should have put another thread with it, because there's a lot of show. But they're fun stitches. When you get going, just, it's almost mindless, because you can take one color and just stitch for until it's done if you really want to, for most of them. I usually try to work on, I think I need to just buy a cone of this 3808. Every time I go to the store, I try and grab a handful of them, because I know I'll need them to finish all of these projects. And I don't buy all my supplies as I go. I have a master set that I work from, and when I start getting low on it, I usually, I write it down to go buy the handful of threads next time I go to the store. Another Mirabilia. So 2020 was my Mirabilia start year. So this is Muka. Super pretty. As soon as it was released, I like ran and bought it because, oh, I'm getting a glare. But anyway, she's super pretty. For how much I ran to buy her as soon as she came out, it's a little funny how I don't have hardly anything done on her. In 4 years, that's all I've put on her. So, maybe she'll come out and play next year. We'll see. I do like how the stitches are laying on her though. It's because like some of the fabric makes it really hard to lay stitches nice. So some look better than others, but those are laying really pretty. This fabric is, oh, I forgot to do that. Under the Sea Fabric Sagebrush. Oh. I don't think I have any more comments on her. Just, I've not worked on her enough to really have an opinion on it yet. Next up is going to be, okay, this one's going to be fun. Next up is my chatelaine. I only have one going right now. I have a couple patterns sitting to start, but I'm not going to have two of those going. So, my chatelaine, I'm doing the Serengeti first, because there's something about the chatelaines that online, when you look at their pictures of what they look like just from the shop, they don't look that spectacular. They kind of just look plain to me, and I didn't want to do them for the longest time because they didn't look that great to me. But the pictures don't do it justice, and then whenever I see people stitching them and then they do the close-ups of them, it's just like, whoa. So I saw someone stitch this and it just blew my mind, and I'm like, okay, chatelaine is something that I want to do. But the price tag is really off-putting. to get everything, all the specialty stitches and everything. You're looking at like $300 to kit it up. So I kind of cut corners a little bit, and I'm doing it on Aida because of that was what I had at the time. And then I'm actually not doing any specialty threads at all. I am literally just doing DMC, and I look up the color for the specialty threads. If it's really heavily variegated, I find like 2 or 3 of the colors of that variegation, and I kind of color match it, and I just kind of make it go. Most of the specialty stitches, I don't even get why they're there, because there's just like spot, 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 and you wouldn't even see the variegation at all. So it just seems a little not great. And I mean, specialty stitch threads are nice. If you can afford them, they're worth it, but you can do DMC too if that's all you have. It works just fine. So I've got this much done on it so far. So I put an arrow to know which side is up on it, just because the panels were so similar at first. So I'm gonna start here, just to kind of, actually, you know, I'll go up. The bead kit was pretty expensive, but I did do the beads because, and the shinies. But I want to see if I can capture the shine. Look at that shine. That middle panel is just so pretty. Now, in the future, I won't do it on Aida. A lot of those fractional stitches are so hard to do on Aida. But anyway, I haven't worked on this in a while. It would be nice to stitch on it again. That's the next panel I'm focusing on. But anyway, I just can't get over the shine. So pretty. Again, I did the beading as I went, and now it's kind of proving a little bit more difficult to do, but it's okay because I can stitch this in hand because it's fine. Okay, so this is what it'll look like. Again, I feel like the pictures don't justify it. In person, it's so much prettier. Next up, let me find my bag. Where to put it? There it is. Next up is, okay, Ariel by Pinky the Pink, or Make It Pink. It's a Hannah Alexander designer, artist. I don't know what I'm doing this on, but it's a very sparkly fabric. I originally started it on a Under the Sea Fabrics, a darker one, and my stitches were not laying pretty at all. They looked so bad, and I ended up scrapping it and starting it over, and I started on this, and I think it looks a lot better. But yeah, it's fun. I don't have it in Pattern Keeper. I have it in Saga, and it's a little bit, it's not as user-friendly, so I put it off because it's hard for me to get wrapped around. But this is what she'll look like. I do have the statistics on her though. She is, I put about 4,000 in her so far and 44,000 to go. She's 9%. So next up is Sakura, another Hade. Let me find the upside. So I started in the center and I'm kind of just going around it. I've never done this method before, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. The reason why is because I'm doing it on this fabric I also got from the Virginia cross stitch station. And yeah, it's a higher count and I'm doing it over 1, not over 2. So they're really, really, really tiny stitches. And it's really hard to count out in cross country tiny stitches. So feel like sticking to the square and going around is going to be my best bet. It is not full coverage, so it'll have this showing through in the middle. This is what she'll look like. Okie dokie. She is 5% done. She's got about 86,000 to go. But she's only like 6 colors, so it should go by fast when I focus on her. I just haven't. Next up is Whiskey Dragon. It is about 3% done. It is by Pain Free Crafts. Yeah. So I gridded this one so that I can try and knock colors out as I go as well. But then I switched over to just stitching in the corner and working my way up. This one is, it has 93,000 to go. It's fun. I love the colors. Kind of want to work on it again. That's the bad thing about this WIP parade. I'm looking at all my projects again and now I'm like, I want to work on them all. Most of these I haven't touched probably in 2 years. I don't think I've touched this one since we moved in the house. And that was 2 years ago. So it needs to come out and play. This is what it'll look like. And its other piece, I think I'm gonna do all of the drink dragons, or at least most of them. I want to do the margarita one. I want to do the tequila one. I'm drawing a blank, but there's so many of them that I want to do. But definitely the margarita one after these two. Because not only is it super pretty and bright and colorful, but I like margaritas. So the rum dragon will look like this. It's also 3%. But it looks, I don't know why it looks further. I think it's because I actually have the dragon kind of outlined. But, oh, that's why, because there's an extra 1,000 stitches in it. This one's a little bit bigger. The Whiskey Dragon is 96,000 stitches total, and this one's 103. So that would be why. But it's a fun one. Flip my page over. Some more 2020s. Next up, all of those were on 28 count. So the next up is Witching Hour by it's a Heaven and Earth Designs. So backing up. So there's a problem I have. I stitched this. I did all of this, all the way until I got to the corner. And there's a stain on it. Ignore it. When I got to the corner, I realized, why is there a lot of fabric over here and not so much on this side? I stitched it the wrong way. And so I freaked out and I went and I got all the way down to the bottom and it doesn't reach. It doesn't cover it. So the problem is going to be, it won't, I would either have to scrap it, and that's like 15,000, nope, it is 53,000 stitches. I don't want to scrap 53,000 stitches, so I've decided, I looked at the pattern, and this is what it looks like. And there's a section at the bottom that, as far down as I can get it, with just like a little bit so that I can frame it later, I can get it, and it doesn't ruin the pattern by cutting it off a little sooner. So that's just what I'm gonna do. But it's really disappointing because I love the whole pattern. So I hate that I'm having to cut some of it off, but it's fine. This one I'm actually doing full stitches on because I wanted the black to have good coverage. Since it's such a dark pattern. Oh no! My cat is stuck in here. So next up is, okay, so Witching Hour is So I'm like 23% on it, but not really because of that panel that I've already marked it off so I know where I'm stopping. So it looks like I'm further than I am. I'm not as far as that. So this one is Cinderella. It is a Tilton Crafts, and I think, yeah, it's a Tilton Crafts. I have it on 28 count. This is the stuff I get from AliExpress, and it's a little bit more starchy, but it actually makes the stitches lay prettier, so I prefer this fabric. So now I try to get this fabric all the time when I'm going to start things because they just lay prettier. They are a little bit harder to put in the Q-snap or a hoop, but it's still worth it for how nice the stitches lay versus the other fabric. So she is going to look like this. And she is, I put about 10,000 in her so far. And she's got 181,000 to go. So she's only 5%. Long way to go. You're going to see that as we go. Most of these are, you know, the closer to date we are getting, the less stitches are in most of them. Marygill is next. So also on 28 count even weave. This is a Tartan Creations. This is where I'm at on her. And this is what she'll look like. I have about 4% done on her. I fell in love with this one, and I had already bought so many patterns this year in 2020, that when, like, I fell in love with her a couple of years before that, and I had her in my wish list, and then in 2020 I finally just bit the bullet and I bought her because I was just like, if I love her after a year, then I'll get her. And yeah, I did. So look at the colors though. I do love how bright that is. I don't always have plans on how I'm going to tackle them, or if I do, they jump around. But like, I was working by color, but the next time I work on her, I might not. My methods are not consistent. I get bored easily and need a change of pace, so sometimes I'll stitch by color, sometimes I'll stitch by section, or by page, or by row. It just kind of varies. So next up is Bath Time, another Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is 226,000 stitches, and I have 7,000 put on it. I'm trying to get the border done, but I did start working up here. I don't like this fabric. It's linen, I believe, because there's a lot of, I don't know if that shows good or not, but it's not very consistent. You could see, like, even right there, they just don't sit right. So because of that, I'm kind of stitching, I stopped doing it like this, and I'm going to start doing them kind of more by squares so that they stay more even, so that I can count it properly. But again, it's one of those situations that I didn't realize how much I hated the fabric until I got too far into it to feel like scrapping it. So I will push through on it. Fortunately, most of, at least the top part, this is what she looks like. The top part is mainly in blocks, so it should stitch fine. It'll be whenever it gets down to the ocean, I think it'll be more confetti, but get there when it gets there. She is 9%. She reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, like, what's her name, Kairi? Just, it looks so much like that that's what made me want it, because I love Kingdom Hearts. Next up, wow. Hey, cute cat. This is Bath Time. This is Bath Time. This is the Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm not very far. I actually started this one, I think, in 2017. I think that was one of my Stitch Mania, or maybe it was 2018. But I started it, and I hated the fabric. It was the same fabric as the, I remember Moonlight. And I had tried getting further in it, and the stitches were not laying good at all, and the fabric pulls, it's so loose. So I scrapped it, and I restarted it in 2020. Lots and lots of browns. But this is what she'll look like. She's super pretty. I love her. I want to get further on her, but it's a while before I get to her. It's a lot of background first, so I got to get through that. And she's 3%. Sorry if I repeat stats a lot. I don't remember what I say. It doesn't help that I've also like filmed each of these sections like probably 3 times because I messed up or somebody interrupted me. So don't remember what I say between the recordings. Okay, so next up is Masquerade. I have named Aowen. This is an unconventional cross stitch, I believe. Yeah. I put about 10,000 in her so far. I call all my projects hers, apparently. Just what I do. I did do the first page. These pages are tiny. Like, they're not as big as a Haid page. But, super fun stitch. This will actually get focus for October. So hopefully you'll see, not to spoil the whole plans thing, but that is going to be hopefully what I put some work into this month. The only reason why I gridded so heavy is because it's such a dark pattern, it won't show. That's one thing that's great about this fabric too, is the stitches sit really nice in there. So you don't really see the fabric showing through at all. So I'm not worried about the gridding, but I don't grid like this on the bright, like the lighter colored projects, because they will show through. I've learned that the hard way. But anyway, so this is what, did I do that? This is what she'll look like. She's got 244,000 left. She's only 4% out of all of that right there. That's only 4%. So long, big project. I think it's a total of, it's 254,000. So as you can see, not only do I have 90 projects, but they are almost all exclusively BAPs. I like my BAPs. This is Lady of the Rhine, Heaven and Earth. I did do this one by color first, and then I went back and I started just pulling from the page. My latest method has really been just when I grab a page, like I'll grab a line and I grab the color from that line and then I run it out until I can't reach with that thread anymore, or I have to end the thread because there's nothing anywhere close, and then I just grab the next color in line and I just keep doing that. So the page will get done eventually, but you won't see a page line. It'll just kind of cross country out into sections. That's the method I've been really preferring these days. But she's got a couple stains on her. I don't know what happened. Kids probably. Like I said, you'll see that on a lot of my projects. I'm not, because they're all full coverage, I'm not too concerned. I will wash my fabric when I'm done and they're full coverage. So that one is 4% done. It's also huge. It's 286,000 stitches and I have like 11,000 in it so far. So next up is Beautiful Secrets. Another one I fell in love with really hard, and it's surprising I'm not further. I think what deterred me is I'm doing all this background that's this pink, and I didn't count my fabric great. So that's the little section I have, so I and it was fraying on me, so I just kind of stitched up roughly. It's bad. I need a, what do you call them, like a sergers, or I can't remember what the name is. But my method works. It's not going anywhere now, but it just looks rough. But she's fun. This is what she'll look like. Oh, and I forgot to do that for Lady of the Ring. I guess I'll put that in rough. So yeah, she's fun. That pink is just similar to Scientist, when the pink is just like a couple colors and then like it's just a lot of over and over and over again. It gets boring, so I ended up switching to doing some of the darker, more fun colors, and I try to alternate. Like I'll grab a color, a thread of this, and then I will run that one out, and then I'll go and grab something fun and then just keep going back and forth. So it works. But she is 4%. I put about 15,000 in so far. She's got 344,000 to go. She's super pretty though. Next up, also on 28 count even weave, is Dragonkin. This one is 388,000 stitches. It is huge. I started it out in this little corner, and then I decided it would be fun. I think there was an event that was happening, one of the cross-stitching events, that needed like so many pages touched or something like that. So I started gridding out, and I did all the black. It's not all done, but I did all of this down here is black. Sorry. She's gonna be huge. See if I can get a full-on picture. I put 15,000 in this one, and it is 4%. So, long way to go. My daughter says that she's super creepy with just the way her eye is right now. And I agree with her. It is kind of creepy. Maybe I should try to fix that. Or maybe I'll keep the creepy, because that's fun too. Last time I worked on it, I just have been adding the black in here. Probably what I'll do next time I tackle it is just keep going on the black. Next up is, oh, paper done. 2 to go. And it's front and back, so it's really 8 pages. Next up is Blue Octopus. It is a Etsy find. I'm about halfway. It's 48%, and it's 10,000 stitches total. So I did 5. There's 5 left. I'm giving you guys rough estimate numbers. I'm not giving you the exact number because that's just too much. I do have the exact numbers though. I keep a Google Sheets that I keep track of all my stitches. I'm not great at keeping up with it, so it's like maybe once a month I'll go back and I'll backtrack and I'll add all the stitches of... Fortunately, I don't usually jump around on my projects often, so it's usually like 2 or 3 that I just have to go through and make sure I update. But Blue Octopus is 48%. So, this was also Loki. It's just a small stitch. It's got 11,000 stitches. I did 5, 6 left. It's about halfway, almost halfway. This is what it looks like if I remember to do that one. I can do that for the octopus as well, but they're small, so it doesn't, you'll see what they look like as soon as they're done. It won't take forever. I just have to focus on them. I haven't. Next up is Lumos, the companion piece of Knots. It's funny I didn't start them together. I guess I was convincing myself to finish one before I started the other, and then Oh, I guess I forgot to mention, yeah. Blue Octopus and Loki, they are 2021 projects now. So we are into 2021. So this is what I call Lumos. I don't remember, again, Don't know the actual name. I think the other one was like Treasures, something Treasures. Guardian of the Treasures or something, if I remember from online. But the beads are super pretty. I don't know if you can see, but there's like braids, and it's actually braided. Like, you're at the end, you take the threads and you braid it, and then you anchor it in and you let it hang, so it's going to be on top of the actual stitching. It'll be so pretty. I can't wait to do that. And it's super heavily beaded. I don't know if you can see them on there, but lots and lots of beads. So I will, it'll just, so pretty. Oh, upside down. That's where I'm at so far. Decent go. This one's also one that there are half stitches, full stitches. Sometimes it's one stitch, sometimes it's, or one thread, sometimes it's two threads to give it that dimensions. So it's fun. I will bead at the end, trying to maintain that now, even if it breaks my brain a little bit, especially on paper patterns. Next up is, we're gonna go through, I think, all the rest of the donut stitches. They are all on the same count fabric. It is what is, I think it's 16 count, but it's whatever they call for on the, I stuck with what I was told to do on patterns whenever I first started out. Then I branched away into trying different fabrics. So this is Brave. I think this is my furthest donut. I think it passed Aladdin, or maybe not. I have 10,000 in it, so maybe not. It's 27%. This is what it'll look like. And I've got, oh, I don't know how many I have left to go, but I've got 29,000 left because there's 39 total. Next up is Ariel. Donut Ariel. This is what it looks like. And she's 7%. Next up is Snow White. And she is 6%. Like I said, these are all really fun because they're block stitches. I just don't get around to stitching them as like I should. This one, I started it and then I never touched it again since 2021. This is Rapunzel. I think she's got like 500 stitches put in. So she's like 1%. This is what she'll look like. And if I forgot to put Snow White, I'll put it right there too. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Cinderella. Cinderella is 5% done. I put about 2,000 into her. And then I have Sleeping Beauty. This is another one that I started and then did not touch since then. I did that on the first day. Haven't touched it since. This one has a lot of this color too, like the castle. This is what it looks like. It is a lot of that color. I think that's why this one doesn't come out, because it's just overwhelming sometimes. This one's Frozen. Frozen is 2%. I put about 800 stitches in it so far. Not much. But yeah, I don't know. I usually, when I pull them out these days, oh, I almost dropped you, sorry. My pile fell over, oh well. I usually work on Brave or Aladdin when I work on my donuts, so the other ones tend to get neglected, but I think most of my projects get neglected, so The next up is Cat Girl. It's another Tilton. I think I worked on it twice since I started it. But this is what she'll look like. I'm not doing her full coverage, so there's going to be a lot of blank spots for the white, because it's like white background and then also it's a fishbowl. So I'm just not going to do the white. I think it'll be fine. If it looks like after it's done it's not like filling in right, or it looks wonky, then I'll add in the white, but I think I can leave it out, save some stitches. That one is, because I already filled in the white on Pattern Keeper, I don't know what percentage it is, but I think maybe less than 1,000 stitches have been put in it, maybe. This one is, so it's a Heaven and Earth design. It's called Soft Wind Blows, but its pet name is Astrid. And I replaced the white with sparkly. This is what she'll look like. So all the white in that pattern will be shiny. It looks so good, doesn't it? That's why I wanted to do that. It really, I feel like that's what also makes that purple pop better with the shiny. But she is 5%. I put about 4,000 into that one. Also on Even Weave 28 count. I believe all the rest of my projects, unless if it's a colored fabric, there's a couple colored ones at the end. The rest are 28 count, so I'm just like not even gonna mention it anymore because that's what I stitch. If it's not that, I'll bring it up, hopefully. Next up is Aub, or Mini Aub. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs. She's 76,000 stitches total. Nope, that was the Astrid. Aub is 107,000 stitches. I have about 2,000 done. So 105 to go. She's about 2%. So this is what she'll look like. I fell in love with this one because it looks like a grown-up version of my second child, my daughter. It looks like the curly hair and her face structure just looks so much like my daughter that it's like what I picture her to look like when she's a teenager. And we'll see. She's 10 now, so we'll see. But I got it because I wanted to give it to her. So maybe she'll get it before she's a teenager. I don't think so. At the rate I'm going, probably not. She'll get it eventually though. Next up is Butterfly Effect. So this was one I actually started for Mania in 2017, and I made a huge mistake in it, and this one was a big mistake that I couldn't fix. So I ended up scrapping it, even though it had probably 30,000 stitches into it. I ended up having to scrap that one, and I restarted it in 2021. So this is Butterfly Effect. That's what it'll look like. I'm about 2% on it, which again is disappointing because I was pretty far in it from 2017. But oh, it wasn't even a mistake. It was, the fabric was one of those like really thick linen, and the stitches were so thick that the back, I couldn't even put the needle through, and it was so like, I would get blisters on my finger trying to pull the needle up through it. And it's so like, it's so confetti, like each little square, I mean, most of them are just 1 or 2 stitches per 100 of each color. So you gotta flip colors constantly. And so the back, it just got so heavy, so thick, and the fabric didn't help. So this was a better fabric for it, and it's working out so much better. So I'm glad I did that. I think there might have been a stitching mistake in there too, now that I think about it, but I think it was those 2 decisions together that made me scrap it. So that one is 2%, and now I flip. Oh, we're more than halfway now, I think. This is Secret Place. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it'll look like. Did the black so far. I'm not done with it, but super cool. Did 5,000, and there's, oh, I didn't put the percentages for this whole page. Oops. So we're just gonna have to take a guess on how far along it is. It'll take a while. It's 121,000 stitches total. 5,000 in. So I'm not gonna do the math. You guys can if you want. Next up is Lackadaisy, another Heaven and Earth. I put about, nope, that's not accurate. So this is what, I just have that done. I've decided on this one, I really want her to be more like a portrait than square. So I'm cutting off some of this and I'm gonna make it more, you know, rectangular instead of square. And that'll save a lot of stitches too. Because I felt like the other side of it was, there wasn't as much there. Oops, wrong direction this way. It's like cutting corners because I have so many projects and it's starting to overwhelm me that I'm never going to get any of these done if I, like, I wish I would have done like no background on some of them and did fabric instead, because I just don't see myself finishing all these now. But this one is Heartless by Hade. This one I have 5,000. I have a 5 on it. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I guess I did 5,000 stitches. It's 175,000 stitches total. So this is what she'll look like. Because right now you can't really tell. It's just black. And I do the little doop 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 so I can count easier. So I don't lose count. But it's a lot of black. For this one, I don't remember if Hade actually does it, but there's like in the picture that you'll see, there's like little jewels hanging from her head. I'm going to do them in gold Krennic so that it kind of has a sparkle to it. So I don't remember if that's actually in the Hade charted as that, because I know sometimes they put the sparkly in there, but not always. I like to try to add it when I can though, because it just makes it pop. So next up is an Etsy find. It's one of my favorites. I said I don't have favorites, but if I did, it would be this one. You get a whole bunch of boob right now. But this one, I call her, I think it's called The Perfect Perfume. But I just call her Druid. Because she, so I play D&D, and my main character is a Druid that, it's a, kind of like a homebrew. I'm a Kitsune Druid. And I love the color purple, so she kind of like represents that to me. But she's super pretty. Love the colors. So this is what she'll look like. And she's about, I don't know, I have 25,000 put in her, and she is 271,000 total. So I have 246 to go. Long way. Next up, I started this like 2021. I did like 2 days worth of it. Haven't touched it since. This is Oblivion. Heaven and Earth Designs. That's all I have on it so far. But this one, it has 3,000 stitches. It's 278. This is what it'll look like. I haven't worked on it enough to have a feeling of it one way or the other, but I feel like this one is one of those that if I had to make sacrifices on which ones that I don't get to focus on, it would probably be this one, just because I think it might just be all the browns are boring to me. And that whole project is mainly a brown shade. So not always my favorite. So next up is probably the project I have the littlest amount of stitches in it. This was toward the end of my March Madness where I started a whole bunch of projects, and I think I just kind of lost steam. So this one is Dragon in a Jar. It's another Etsy find. I have a whole, what is it? Like 100 stitches maybe. I don't know, I'm not gonna count that, but I don't have it written down, I don't know why. But yeah, it's 275,000 stitches. Oh, I do have it written down, 156 stitches. So tiny. This is what she'll look like. I love her so much. Between the druid and this picture, they're actually my phone background screen for like the last 2 years. I only just now changed it. Because I just love them so much. Yeah, next up is Evolutions. Hade, or Possibilities of Evolution. I can't remember the name exactly. But so there's a stain on this one. I don't know what happened. Sometimes I leave my projects, like if I'm gonna work on it just for a little bit, I stitch on it and then I put it away. But then if it's a project I'm committed to putting a lot of stitches in, like I'm gonna work on it all month, then it will actually sit on the couch, up on the top of the couch, for me to come grab and go and stitch every day. And my kids are out there too, so I think that's what a lot of the stains happen. Oh, Evolutions is, oh, I don't know the percentage for that one either. I'm mad I didn't put the percentages over here. A long way to go. It's 391,000 stitches. Did I say this is what it'll look like? Evolutions. I have 15,000 in it. That one is for my daughter. She loves Eevee. She absolutely loves Eevee. She's obsessed with it. So that one will go to her, and I'll show you my other daughter, is this project. My son, he's not really too into my stitching that much, so he doesn't really want, he said he'll take the Zelda, so that one's gonna go to him. This one is Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Oh, there are stains on this one too. See, this is what happens. They don't warn you when you have kids that you can't have anything nice. That's what we always say, because like my son, when he was like 16 months, no, he was like 2 years, he climbed up on my table, my PC table, while I was in the bathroom, and he knocked the whole thing down, shattered my screen. It was a touch screen, so it ruined the entire touch screen. I had to like very carefully turn it off so that it could work again. And then I just had to use a mouse from that point on, but he was notorious for breaking all the technology when he was little. So I said, you can't have nice things when you have kids, but it's okay. They're worth it. This one's fun. It's really confetti heavy. I actually started it before 2021, and I put like 100 stitches in. It was like right there. And then I pulled the stitches out and I said, nope, I can't do this, because there was so much confetti. And then whenever my brain was a little bit more ready for confetti, I started it again in 2021. I got further. But details are so, this is what it'll look like. And I've got about 11,000 put into it. I'm trying to see if I can show what I don't think you can really make out what, there's like a sword right here. The tree branches are clear. Let me remember. This is something, and I can't remember what it is right now. But I look forward to being able to recognize what's in there. It's just not gotten there yet. But it will get there. It has 402 1,000 stitches, and I am 11,000 in, so 390 to go. I probably don't round perfect, so if those numbers don't line up, that's why. Next up is Magic Study, Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm showing it to you the wrong way, this way. I started it from the bottom corner this time. So this was, I think, like one of those special releases, limited time or limited edition. And then she released the rainbow one, and I love the rainbow one even more. But I had already started this one, and I already put, like, I want to say I put 8,000 into it whenever she released the rainbow room one. And I was like, I'm not gonna pull that out and start it over. So this one you can kind of see the little mice. There's a lamp right here, a crystal ball. I think there's a cat right there. Can't remember. But this one is for my youngest daughter. So my son is the 14-year-old, and then I have my first daughter is 10, my second daughter is 6, and then my youngest son is 1. He'll be 2 in March. So this one's for my younger daughter. We call this her rainbow room because it's pretty bright and colorful. Here's the picture. And before we moved, I had promised her we were going to make her a rainbow room. And then we saw this pattern not long after I said that, because they were all sharing one bedroom where we were previously living. So when we moved, I promised she'd have her own room, or not her own room, but her and her sister would have their own room. And the rainbow room was the big promise. We did all 4 walls are different colors and they're rainbow. It's like pink, green, blue, and purple. So, and then they've got unicorns all over it, and also mushrooms too, because my oldest loves cottagecore. So Magic Study, I have 19,000 put on it, and it's 416,000 total. So still almost 400. It's like 396,000. So this one's a Pirate Life. This is my biggest project out of all of them. This, boop. Kind of see. This one's 546,000 stitches. Got the orb up here, almost done. But I love it so much. Look at the details. That's why it's worth doing the 500,000 stitch projects. It's gonna take forever, but when it's done, those details are just gonna be amazing. I look forward to it. I put about 13,000 into this one so far. I do want to work on, because this one is my biggest one and it's the one that I have the most stitches left. I've got 533,000 stitches left on it. I kind of wanted to always, in rotation, keep the project with the biggest amount of stitches going. So this one, I think its competition is 140,000 stitches later. So I'd have to put 140,000 stitches into this just to shift it down to being the most stitches left. So that's like a whole year's worth of stitching just to get it to not the most stitches left. So yeah, I love this one so much. I don't know if I said it, it's Haid, A Pirate's Life. And that was the last one from the 2021 starts. Next is my 2022s. And I started this, That Which Does Not Kill. Or, it's a stitch along. I'll tell you, I don't remember. That is Urban Stitches, that's it. Just racking my brain, trying to remember. Urban Stitches, and I am not even halfway, but it's fun. I haven't worked on it in a while. This is hand-dyed fabric. I did this one. I originally did this one for Brave Merida from Pinky the Pink. I was doing this fabric for that, and then I didn't realize it was not going to be big enough. So it just kind of sat in my stash for a while. And then whenever I started this project, I was like, oh, this will go great. So, and I think it does. I think it looks good together. My stomach keeps growling. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. Guess I'm hungry. So that one was started in 2022. I don't have any statistics. It's all paper, or it's not on Pattern Keeper. It probably can upload to it, but it's so simple. I usually don't upload the simple ones on Pattern Keeper. And I made a note. I accidentally forgot to put this one in my pile, so this one's on the side. This one is Ocean Rose. I'm doing this one by, it is a mini or quick stitch. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs. It's really small. I don't have, oh, I do have the stats. 27,000 stitches total. So it won't take long to finish it. I have about 7,000 in. It's got 20 to go. So it's about 28%. I don't have the percentages for these next ones either because it just is not really worth mentioning it. These are all my RPG characters. Yeah. I was gonna say, here's what Ocean Rose looks like. Yeah, because I missed that, but she's also pretty, I don't know. You can kind of tell what she's gonna look like because I have it mostly outlined. Okay, so next up is my RPG characters. I'm trying to, okay. This is my Necromancer. This is what it'll look like. I've got about 4,000 put in it. These are all on one piece of fabric, and then the other one's another piece of fabric. I will cut them off and frame them individually. I gave just enough room to do it. They're pretty tight, but I think it'll be fine. This is my Bird Bard. And that one's got 2,600. Oh, and that's what it'll look like. Here's my Cat Rogue. And that's what it'll look like. And my Deer Druid. And that's what it'll look like. And then I will actually show you this one. This one was not in one of my finishes because it's attached. But this is my Wizard Fox. That one is done. It also has shiny threads in it somewhere. The Fox, or no, Wolf Paladin. Am I showing? There we go. My Wolf Paladin, that one has 4,000 put in it. Frog. Oh, and this is what the Wolf Paladin will look like. The Frog Sorcerer. This is what it'll look like. I have to remember to do that. My Owl Ranger. And this is what it'll look like. The owl has 4,000 in it. And the Bear Barbarian. And this is what it'll look like. And then I also have 3 other ones that I kind of have them written down as started because they're kind of all a set, but I don't actually have them started. They don't have stitches in them yet, but I have spaces for them on that other fabric, I believe, or there's one more fabric for it. And that is the, oh my gosh, I can't read, the Lion Fighter, the Red Panda Monk, and the Fennec Fox. And they look like this. Okay, And page 3 done. Last page. So, continuing on with 2022 starts or projects when I started them. There is Zelda by Pinky the Pink, or Make It Pink. It was Pinky the Pink. I think she changed her name to Make It Pink. And it's a Hannah Alexander project or artist. And I put about 1,800 into this so far. She's super pretty. This fabric, I don't remember. I think I got it from Under the Sea Fabrics. But it doesn't have the tag, so maybe I didn't. I'm drawing a blank. I know. I don't know. All I know is it was really expensive because it's huge. But if it's worth it for anything, it's worth it on Zelda because this is what she's going to look like. She's super pretty. I want to work on her more. What did I say? She's 3% done, so long way to go. Next up is, it's called Keep in Faith by Heaven and Earth Designs. Her pet name is Nadia. Most of my projects do have pet names. I don't always bring them up, but sometimes the pet names stick harder on certain projects that I don't even remember the chart name and I have to write it down. This is one of them. I always just call her Nadia. So this is what she'll look like. And she's 11%. I have about 10,000 put in her. So I did this one. I gridded the entire thing and I'm finishing it color by color. Kind of doing a extreme cross country, or I think that's what it's called, right? Extreme cross country. Next up is Map of Middle Earth. If anybody knows me, knows that I started the Tilton map that was like 800,000 stitches. I got 50,000 stitches in and decided I was too overwhelmed by how big it was. And I got this one, which is the Heaven and Earth Designs that's retired now version. So I have to restart it, so it looks so little now, but it'll be okay. This one's only 1%. I have 1,500 put in on it. Here's another big one. This one's Twilight Marketplace. It's 367,000 stitches. By side. So this is, oh, nope. This is the bottom, I think. I don't know. Hold on. I think it's the top, actually. It's the top. I couldn't remember how I started that one. I've not touched it since 2022. But anyway, love it. I started that one with a friend. Would like to work on it some more. I want to work on them all. Not enough time in a day. That one was Heaven and Earth Designs as well. And then this next one is also Heaven and Earth Designs. I didn't name most of the artists here because I kind of forgot to write them down and I don't remember them off the top of my head, and some of them are kind of hard to pronounce, so I didn't want to stutter on them. But I will post them below if I remember to do that. This one's Autumn Castle. I love this one. The colors are so bright. I don't know if you can see. So this is what it'll look like. And I put 6,000 in it so far. If you can hear the thumping, my kid is playing with a basketball out in my kitchen. So I apologize. This is 1%. So this one's 450,000 stitches. Oh, this way. 450,000 stitches, and I have 6,000, so 444,000 to go. Yee. Okay, so that was it for 2022's. So now we're on to 2023, and these, you're not gonna, oh, well. So this one is, and I forgot to check before I started this. I started Dark Elf 1, Dark Elf 2, and Dark Elf 3 from Tilton all the same time, and there's so little stitches in it. I don't know which one is which. So I'm taking a guess that this one is Dark Elf 1, which I pet named Dryad. I don't even know which orientation it goes, but this is what it looks like. And it's pretty small. 90,000 stitches, and it doesn't look like it would be for how small this fabric is, but it's pretty small. Maybe it's not 9. Yeah, I think so. And that might be if it's got the background in it. I'm not doing the background, I'm keeping that plain. And then I have my Magic Witch sampler, my Magic Witch hat sampler, I think that's what it's called. So this is what it'll look like. I don't have any stats on that, except I will say I absolutely love it. Like, I will get all of those little samplers that it was on Etsy. I think it was like Foxy something. It's not coming to me, but I enjoy this so much. It is such a fun stitch. Next up is my Harry Potter books. This one's actually, I know Fox and Teacup Designs does this as well, but this one's just like a pick to pat one. But yeah, it'll look like this. And I have about 6,000 in on it, and it's about 9%. So 56 to go, or 57 to go. It's not too big, but it'll be great. I don't know if you caught, I have like sections of, I scrapped a project, so that's what the piece is sitting on. When I scrap them, I don't always pull the stitches out, so I just keep them in the corner. This one is the other Dark Elf 2, I think. I call her Celeste. I don't know the orientation. I meant to, like I said, I meant to look before I started, but here's what she'll look like. And then the last one is, oh my gosh, see, again, there's so many stitches in these. I think this is the last Dark Elf 3. This is what she'll look like. I apologize if these don't line up because I don't know which orientation. I did these in one day and then I've not touched them since, so I don't even have it in my head right now which direction they go or what they even, like, how they orient to know. Then I also started, these are all Tiltons. I like bought all of these together and then started them all together. So this one is, I believe, Pink, Little Pink, and I named her Pearl. I put 400 in this one. And this is what she'll look like. Oh my gosh, we're almost 2 hours in. What? This one is Little Green Jade. I named her Jade. This is what she'll look like. I'm gonna have to like speed this up or something so you guys aren't watching 2 hours worth of video. Wow, I'm sorry. This one is Little Blue, and I named her Rowena. Oh no, my pile fell again. All of them have 400 stitches put in on them. They're not even 1%. And last side, here we go. More 2020s. So I did these little tarot cards. I'm just gonna speed through them real quick. And I did them on spare fabric, so it's kind of cut funny. But I'm gonna dye over top of this. I'm gonna dye in purple. And I'm gonna actually back them with a, I don't know what you call them, like the really thin board. I'm gonna cut a board the size of this, and then get a really pretty like witchy fabric and sew them together so that they're actually like physical cards that you can hold. That's the game plan. But there's 120 or 112 cards, and I've got 9 done, so it'll be a while. I am currently working on the Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, and what is that one? Justice. So, long way to go, but I love these. This is Circle Cross does them. Trying to think. This is what they look like, at least those last 3. There's 112 of them. I have 9 done, right? Yes. Okay. Next up. Oh, I'm sorry. This is so long. This is Fire Girl. One of my friends made this pattern. And this is what she'll look like. And I put about 500 in her so far. She's 215,000 stitches though. Not even 1%. And this one next is even less. I put 400 stitches in it. This is my stained glass dragon. This is what it'll look like. And it's 0.18%. Then I started Villain Mouse, the villains Disney in a mouse shape. I'm sorry if you can hear my son running, screaming. This one's 64%. I was planning on having it done in September. Didn't happen, but it's okay. There's like 3,000 stitches left. And I did these little soda pin-up. The soda stitch pin-up girls. I don't have the pattern right in front of me. And then here is, I won't even show what she looks like because you can pretty much see her. Soda stitch, and then this one is Spring in a Bottle. I just kind of did them on the same fabric because that's what I had on hand. This one's 18,000 stitches. I did 1,000, and it's not even 1%, but this is what it'll look like. It was bought on Etsy. And last but not least, this is my Heaven and Earth Designs SAL that started 2024 SAL, and I'm Team Fox. And this one is one that if you finish it before December 31st, you get 2 free patterns from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm almost done. We just got the latest release this week. Well, technically on the 28th, but I didn't have internet access until I think the 1st. So I didn't get to start it until just yesterday into the last 3 pages. So this one, it released 3 pages at a time. And the last, October 1st gave us the last 3 pages. So just got to finish that little section and it's done. So hopefully next time I talk to you guys, I'll get to show off another finish. So that wraps up my WIP parade. So thank you for sticking with me all this time. Sorry it was so long. As far as stitchy plans, I'll just go ahead and run into that real quick here too. My plan is to finish this for October. And then when this is finished, I'm going to put the rest into, sorry about my kids. I'm going to put the rest into Masquerade for Spooky October. So I'm going to do that. And maybe something else might pop up, but that's probably going to be all I do. As far as November, if you guys have any suggestions, if you have a favorite one in this whole big 90 pile, let me know, because I never know what I'm going to stitch. So I could use some inspiration. But anyway, yeah, so if you stuck with me with all this time, I do have a reward for you guys. If you guys want a pattern, if you want to be a part of this giveaway, I'm going to give this pattern away to whoever, like, say you want it below, and I will I'll email you and get your address from you and send it to you. I think YouTube has a requirement that you have to say you have to be 18 or older or have your parents' permission, but anyway, this is by You and I Friends. I have boxes and boxes of patterns. Like, it's a lot of patterns. A lot of them I'm not going to stitch. A lot of them I just don't have time to stitch, and it's a lot of smaller stuff like this too. And I thought it would be perfect for giveaways. So if you want this, just let me know. This is called Pumpkin Bird. Oh, I'm sorry about the glare. But anyway, yep, if you want it, just say, I want this, or I don't know, say pumpkin. Yeah, let's do that. Say pumpkin if you want this. So thank you for sticking with me, and hope to see you again soon. Send me your cross stitch Flosstube names and Instagram names, because I follow as many people as I can, but I know I miss them. So I watch a lot of Flosstube. I get stuck. I like to go from the beginning and work my way down. So some people have like 300 videos, so sometimes I get stuck on someone for a very long time, but I will eventually get to you. But anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you hopefully next month. All right, bye.